If you're a new Uber driver like I was not too long ago, chances are you're still trying to figure out why you're not making as much money as a lot of the pros say that they can make. And look, we've all been there. The best of the best Uber drivers in the entire country, they had to start from somewhere too, and they had to make their own mistakes to figure out what worked for them and their market. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you guys 3 common mistakes on why you're not making as much money as you could be driving for Uber. And spoiler alert, I've made all 3 of these mistakes myself. Hey everybody, it's Kian with the RideShare Guy, pronounced Kian, and in today's video, we are going to be sharing 3 common mistakes that we see new Uber drivers making. Now, I have seen a huge influx of new Uber drivers in the market, and chances are you're probably one of them, whether you're just coming out of college for spring break, or you're in transition point in between jobs, or maybe you're just trying to make a little bit of extra cash on the side. This video is for you to explain how you can surge your earnings. And that's actually a pretty good segue into mistake number 1 that we see a majority of Uber drivers making. And don't worry, I made this mistake a lot, is chasing the surge zones. Look, I know it's so tempting when you see that $6 surge and all it looks like is you just have to drive 10 minutes north to where you initially are to go up there and grab that $6 surge. And you want to know what happens 90 times out of 100 when you do that? You go up, you're driving up, you're almost there, and poof, the surge is gone. Now, if you're curious as to why this may be, well, the chances are that Uber finally found enough drivers for that specific area, so they no longer need to put the surge there in order to incentivize drivers to be in that area in the first place. So what you'll do is you'll end up racing towards that surge zone, and maybe you get the surge, you get the extra $6, but you're completely out of place of where you usually are for your Uber rides, or you don't get the $6 surge at all. You get close there and it disappears, and you get rides that you don't even want to take in the first place. Now, it's not always a bad thing if you're trying to chase the surge. Like if there's a surge right down the road from you, maybe it's a 1-2 minute drive and it just shows up and it's like a $5-10 surge or something like that, then yeah, absolutely. Go down the street, go grab your surge, go get a ride or 2 out of it if you can. And if not, hold on to it and take it back to where you are and enjoy it. But moreover, what you probably want to try to do, assuming you know the area you're in and the place where you generally wait for orders, is you just want to stay there and be patient. Remember the 3 Ps: patience, positioning, and planning. Patience is the first one, and as someone with ADHD, I know it all too well. And remember, if there is so much demand in that area where it's going to surge in the first place that's a little bit further away, chances are that surge will initially spread down to where you are, and you'll be able to capitalize on the surge in your own area without having to move a finger. Okay, mistake number 2, and I see this a lot, especially because of the way that Uber incentivizes it: don't take every ride. Everybody's been at that point when they're just starting out with a gig app or service. This isn't even just exclusive to Uber. Doordash has the same thing where they have that acceptance rate tier where you can get top dasher. And with Uber, they have that beautiful set of awards in the rewards program where you can get to Uber Gold, Platinum, or Diamond. And it's not always a bad thing to end up getting into those rewards programs. Sometimes they have seriously good perks. But the question is it going to be worth it to be taking every single ride because of it? And almost the entirety of the time, the answer is absolutely not. And in order to understand if you should be taking every ride, or more specifically what rides you should be taking, you have to understand your costs as a driver. Are you driving an electric car? Are you driving a gas car? Chances are majority of you are probably driving gas cars right now. What's the miles per gallon on your gas? How much does it take to fill up a tank? How far can that tank actually get you? These are all variables. These are just the basic variables of what your costs are as a driver. Are you able to pack your lunches, or do you have to eat out during the middle of the day if you're going to be working a long shift? How much does your car depreciate in value, and how fast does it depreciate in value? And the most important one I would say is your market. Is your market paying you well for your rides? If your costs are low and your market pays you super well, then yeah, maybe it is worth it for you to take every single ride. But I've seen a lot of markets where that is not the case. So for a majority of you guys, you're gonna have to cherry pick to some extent. So try it out in your market, see what rides actually work for you, how much your costs actually are going to be for a good day's work of driving for Uber, and figure out how many rides you should be taking. But for a majority of you, please don't take every single ride. And finally, mistake number 3, and let me tell you, this is the mistake that up until recently, I struggled so much with, and I didn't understand why until I really internalized it. So mistake number 3 is over talking to your passenger, or talking your passenger's face off, essentially. I understand it. You have an interesting life, and you want to share your story with the rest of the world. That's why I'm recording in front of a camera right now, because that's literally what I do for part of my job. But for a majority of people, as interested as they are in you as your Uber driver, they have other things to think about. They have other things to worry about. Some of them have business meetings that they have to worry about, and they're looking at their phone the entire time because of it. And others just aren't very conversational. So if you're sitting there continuously trying to engage your passenger, despite the fact that they have been a little bit closed off towards it, that's just gonna leave a bad taste in their mouth, and you're not gonna get a tip most likely in a majority of those scenarios. So what I would say is read the room, or the car, I guess. Read the car. When the passenger enters the vehicle, how communicative are they towards you? How are they when they answer your questions for the basic necessities in terms of questions? You know, are you comfortable? Is this the right destination? Simple questions in the beginning. See how they gauge the conversation themselves. And if they're very communicative, then absolutely have a good conversation with them and try to see where that goes. But a majority of the time, they're going to just want to be left alone and get on with their day. And that's it, guys. Those are the 3 mistakes that I see new Uber drivers make all the time. And like I said, I made all 3 of these mistakes starting out when I was driving with Uber, especially the last one. I struggled with that one for quite a while. But overall, with learning these mistakes and working on and fixing them, I have significantly increased the amount of tips that I get on a regular basis. So remember to always treat your passengers with the utmost respect, and you will get respected in return. If you guys enjoyed the video, obviously, make sure you leave a like on this video. And if you want to see more videos from the RideShare Guy, check out this video over here where we give you 20 tips and tricks on how you can make more money driving for Uber. And if you guys want to see more from me, check out my YouTube channel, Kian, linked below. I would really love to see you guys over there. And as always, stay cool.